Alright, this isn't going to be that long, not this one. Today we have to talk about the ruby idol. This thing is a solid chunk of ruby carved into the shape of, it's Kila? Kyla? It's an Indian god, the god of destruction. And it was discovered in a cave in India by the great explorer Sheldon Lennox. And it has no supernatural powers, as far as we can tell. But everyone seems to want it. You know, they want it so bad they are willing to kill for it. So, what does any of that have to do with Batman? Well, just watch and you'll find out. It turns out, the ruby idol is deeply desired by a group of Hindu extremists. And after discovering the idol was taken by Sheldon Lennox, they decided to come to America and kidnap him and kill him in honor of their guard. Of course, the police chase down these Hindu extremists, but it's too late. They've already murdered Lennox, and they've dumped his body by the river. At this point, Bruce Wayne decides to get involved and help solve the case and catch these extremists. The newspapers report on the Ruby Idol and the unfortunate passing of Sheldon Lennox, and everyone seems terribly interested in the story. They store the idol in the museum where they assume it's going to be safe. However, Batman has his doubts, and so he decides to head over to the museum and keep watch himself. Batman's hunch turns out to be correct, and the ruby idol is in danger of being stolen by some thugs. Batman, however, uses his superior fighting ability to try and fend them off. However, in the middle of the fight, a group of mad Hindus, literally legit mad Hindus, just show up, and they make the matter even worse. As it stands, the Hindus win the fight, and they get away. They get away, and they take the ruby idol with them. Then suddenly, the police show up after the fact, and Batman gets framed for the crime. However, using his quick wits, he is able to make his escape, and he is not arrested. So it's at this point where Batman discovers that the true culprit of the crime can only be found in Chinatown. So he visits the shop of a local dealer known as Sin Fang, who agrees to take Batman to the stolen ruby idol. However, this turns out to be a trap, and Batman is attacked by some guards. However, Batman quickly dispatches the guards who, they don't seem to have much experience fighting. Sin Fang, he explains that this was actually just a mistake. This wasn't a trap. His guards just thought Batman was an enemy. And it doesn't matter because they're dead now. Batman killed them. So Sin Fang leads Batman on into a room. And suddenly in that room, the door shuts behind him. And then the room starts filling with poisonous mustard gas. Luckily, Batman happens to have a special gas pallet on his belt, which renders the mustard gas completely harmless. Batman then escapes the room, and Sin Fang explains, well, no, this wasn't a trap. This actually is just another accident. You see, it's just the result of some bad plumbing. Batman once again forgives him, and they continue walking. Except the next trap. It's a trap door, and Batman falls into a pit. And Sin Fang willingly admits this time that this was no accident. No, this was a trap. He wants Batman dead. But unfortunately for him, Batman is incredibly resourceful and is able to catch on to a single protruding pipe on his way down. So Batman makes it out of the pit and confronts Sin Fang, who turns out to be Sheldon Lennox in disguise. I don't know where that came from. And he never actually died. He just faked his own death so that he could possess the ruby idol for himself. And to this end, he wrote fake death threats. He hired a bunch of fake Hindu extremists. And he made a deal with the real Sin Fang, who was a real person, to split the profits. And I don't know how Batman figured all of that out, but we'll just go with it. So finally we're here, and Lennox tries to shoot Batman, but Batman throws the ruby idol. He just grabs the ruby idol and he throws it right at his face, and it hits him, and he ends up falling out of a window down to his death below. But the irony of it is that the ruby idol lands on top of him. Keela, the god of destruction, lands right on top of his dead body, and it sits there like a statue, like a monarch to his death. Alright, so that tickles me. I love it. I love the irony there. But, yeah, alright, so we had to get through that one. It's not the best Golden Age Batman story, but I wanted to feature it, you know? There's just something appealing to the ruby idol story device, you know, as an object of obsession. I kind of like that. It leads, as an object of obsession, it leads ultimately to destruction, and there's something compelling there. Perhaps handled in a different medium, there could be potential for something really great in that idea. But the real prize here is that after this story, Batman would go on to get his first true ally in his war against crime. And of course I'm talking about none other than Robin the Boy Wonder. Batman is growing up and he is becoming a father. This marks the point in which he would start to turn away from his darker roots and become more of a lighter, more kid-friendly character for the Silver Age, you know? But all that'll be covered in the next episode. For now, if you liked reading this comic with me and you want to read more, why not like this video and subscribe to my channel? And if you're feeling really generous, you can consider donating to my Patreon. Until then, as always, nerds, stay heroic.